Semi-final, the winner bracket. We are in the Murky Cup playoffs, everybody. We got Blackheart Spey, our starting map today, in the best of 5. So from here on out in the playoffs, we have only best of 5s. The exception being the grand final, of course. But Team Ash is going up against the Exodia stack now. If you haven't watched a lot of matches in the qualifiers, again, we're down to the top teams. We have the playoffs at hand, and we have for the draft, as usual, a draft restriction where you can only play hero once within a series, meaning after the first map, the 10 heroes that got played cannot be played again. And obviously this has a bit of an impact as we're going through a series. But just generally talking about the Murky Cup, we've had a lot of bounties already attempted. If you're not familiar with the concept, it's actually easily explained. We have in total a prize pool of $2,000. All of that sponsored by I Can't Wait, who is making this tournament possible. So a big shout out to him, and thank you for supporting the Heroes of the Storm esports scene and helping to keep the competitive spirit here alive. But the prize pool that we have is actually going to be split. So we have $1,000 that goes straight to the top players, same as you would see in any other tournament. And then we have 1,000 that go into the bounty pool. And you can see the bounties on screen in just a moment here. But essentially it's handicaps that you give yourself where you have to fulfill certain conditions, and if you then win with those, you get one ticket for that bounty pool of $1,000. And at the end of the tournament, we're looking at how many bounties were completed in total, how many bounties were completed by each team, and then the teams, they get a share according to how much they themselves, were able to grab there. So it's a pretty interesting concept that forces teams to think a little bit about risk-reward scenarios where they believe, hey, we can win with this, or yeah, we're willing to risk it, especially when they're ahead in a series. The Exodia stack is probably the team that farmed by far the most bounties thus far in the qualifiers. I mean, they went really all out there. And the interesting part is going to be, if now that we are in the playoffs, they're just going to focus on victory, or if they're saying, you know what, we are still trying to get a few more bounties and a larger share of that bounty pool as a result. Now, as they have completed most of the bounties already, there's not all that much left. And the problem for them, of course, is then automatically that the bounties that are left are very, very difficult to complete. The biggest one would definitely be Twin Blades variant. That bounty hasn't even been attempted yet because he's such a shitty hero when you pick Wind Blades. So we'll have to see if at some point they're going to try it. Now when Blackheart Spey with Brightwing and Murden starting things up. Team Ash, for example, has also completed their fair share of bounties. But I would say that they are most likely going to be more interested in trying to now move on to the winner bracket final. So we have a double elimination system. The loser does not get eliminated but drops down into the lower bracket. So there's still a bit of wiggle room for the teams even if they lose a few games here. But yeah, Hogger, Rhaegar now claimed, plus Tracer. Meaning already that we are in a scenario where you can really focus a lot on those small camps. Try and claim those. And then with that help, just simply, come in, get some doubloons, turn them in, and try and dominate the objective as best as possible in order to get ahead and take the 1-0 in the best of 5 here. Now Jojo gets banned. The good old days when we had Johanna and Asmodan just playing tag team at those two top lanes that are insanely close together to stack Asmodan quickly. This was actually the OG map where that strategy came up. Beforehand, most teams were not really thinking along those lines. Later on, it was Tomb of the Spider Queen where it became very popular. But this was actually the initial map where that was played, because you can use Asmodan very easily on both of those lanes because they're so close to each other. But this is something that we're not really seeing all that much anymore. Again, all triggered by Jojo getting banned here because she was, at the time, the absolute prime hero to be picked with Asmodan to help him stack. I don't think that we're going to get Asmodan now in this game. Even though the bounty is still up for a few of these guys. But we get the Haka for the top lane, and we have Gul'dan. There's still somebody missing for the bot lane for the red team. And I'm personally, well, I guess they're going to put Hogger there. We still miss the main tank, so Benny has to still bring this in. It's a bit of a surprise with Dino on the red team side. I would have nearly thought, okay, we're going to get maybe Zagara here. Has played a lot of Zagara in that situation, but not so much here now. So our final 2 picks for the Exodia stack, Falstad and Nubarak. And Falstad is a bit dangerous on this map because he can, with his disengage tools after level 10, create situations where you don't even have to fight. You just turn in the entire time, or you push lanes, and you always disengage with false stat whenever that happens. But yeah, you can actually win the game that way. It's one of the reasons why that map at some point also disappeared from the actual map pool. Now we're looking at our final pick. Bishops is the one to choose, and the final choice for Team Ash is Valeera. It's bounty time. Okay, so they're gonna try for bounty here. Team Ash is attempting a bounty. The Exodia stack is not. Let's jump in. Game number 1 on Blackheart's Bay. Game number 1, the best of 5 series here in the semifinal of the winner's bracket, ladies and gentlemen. The Exodia stack is up against Team Ash. An absolute highlight match, and we have a bounty attempt to boot. So we're starting things off on the left side with Team Ash playing Renella with Brightwing. We got Dead Inside on Dehaka. Bishops playing Murden. Down for Life on Gul'dan. And then Lopaka with Valeera. Over on the right side of the map, the Exodia stack with Copenhagen on Hogger. Dino's playing Tracer for the red team. Yasu on Rhaegar going straight up into the totem build. And then on top of that we get Bad Benny with Nubrak going for Beetles, and Hazorps on Falstad with the Frequent Flyer. So, right at the start, already a bit of a battle. Falstad is the only one that's currently moving down to the bottom of the map. Each team has a global. Gul'dan is going for the sucky build. Full drain life on him, at least for now. And they're already starting to chase a bit with Muradin, looking for the next Stormbolt connect. So far, that hasn't quite happened. But yeah, they're just looking for the first kill. Valeera maybe a little bit too deep and goes down. Not a great start. Valeera, honestly, a pretty weak hero in competitive play. Usually doesn't get played at all. The bounty system at least made it so she was played, I believe, once during the qualifiers by the Exodia stack, and she won that game. But generally speaking, Valeera is a hero that nobody in their right mind wants to play in a competitive environment. We had even in the days of HGC, I think Schwimpy at some point tried to play her, and they might have even succeeded once, but she is just a huge liability. It's just one of those situations where obviously she brings certain things to the table, but generally you are better off picking other heroes that are less of a risk. So you generally win a game despite picking Valeera and not because you picked her. So there's definitely better heroes in that role. But that's the beauty of the bounty system. That's why we got Novas. That's why we got a lot of Murkies, Cho'Galls, all of it. And that's why we now have Lopaka on Valeera. And the story is still true with Lopaka. He is the one that for the team has apparently now only one job, and that is you go for bounty heroes. He played Murky for them. He played, well, he's playing Valeera for them. He played Gazlo, Murky, and a couple of others. So the whole idea is for him to really go deep and do a lot of quick match training and ARAM training, so that he then is able to pull those plays also potentially off in the bounty setup. Dino with the first turn-in attempt here already, so a couple of doubloons get turned in for the red team. We have 2 kills to 0. The Nubrak is still sitting up at the top. There's of course a couple of smaller pirate camps that they could also try and claim. And already the aggression continues as they're starting to make their move here. Lopaka needs to be mega careful with Valeera. He became the target already several times, and that's essentially the idea that they have. Whenever they have a chance to focus on him straight away, they do exactly that, and that strategy has been working quite nicely for them. So not really too much that they can complain about here. But, well, Team Ash wouldn't be Team Ash if they didn't go for some aggressive moves. So they're trying to invade the camp. So far, that hasn't really worked out. And that is Valeera gone again. Valeera gets destroyed. So does Brightwing. And that nets 4 kills in total for the red team. So, yeah, they are in a fantastic spot right now. Just getting kill after kill after kill. Not too far ahead in experience yet, but honestly at this pace it's not gonna take too long. Turn-in number 1 has already happened. That will remove the fort in the mid lane. Compared to days past, there is a change of course, because the hit points of the fountain are now bound to the fort HP, and previously the fountain soaked 1 cannonball. That's not the case anymore. And thanks to that 1 extra cannonball that hits the fort also gets destroyed, even if all the towers and the gates were at full HP previously. So they got another kill. Falster got taken out. It was actually first blood in this case now for Team Ash. But it doesn't change the fact that they are now losing the fort in the mid lane. Down here at the bottom of the map. A nice drag from the Haka. Dead inside against Hogger. But it wasn't enough to give them a kill here. They got close, they did well, but was not enough for kill number 2. Now they're trailing slightly in experience. Nothing too crazy, but there is obviously always the risk that the red team just gains too much momentum. They still have 8 doubloons that are holding. Also thinking about turning in, as you can see right now. Lopaka, careful. Yeah, Valera is having a really tough time. They're focusing her hard. And there she goes again. Dino just simply moving out there. Now they're going for Renella, and Brightwing is gone too. So that's another double kill now for the red team. And they're absolutely crushing them. I mean, you can already see that Valera died 4 times. 4 times that Valera got destroyed. Seems like they're going for a Nubarak. Even Falsa was flying into the mid lane. But yeah, Nubarak went for Gul'dan, and Falsa was trying to assist him here. He couldn't get the kill because he was diving away towards the top. But if he attempted to escape through the middle, that would have been very likely another dead orc here. So good for them. They were able to escape. But the aggression just continues, and 6 kills to 1 is already telling the tale. That said, now Benny goes down, so that's a nice kill, and that was at least well done. So with Benny being destroyed, they now have a chance there. Hogger is, by the way, all alone on the map, so they were able to get a kill, but it comes also at a bit of a cost, because what happens here essentially is that Hogger has a free reign at the bot lane and is able to destroy the entire wall without any resistance whatsoever. The chest that spawned, on the other hand, that is quite helpful. So Dead Inside is now starting to move in and try to steal something away here. And it gets essentially all of the doubloons. He's holding 9 doubloons at this point. Now the blue team hasn't turned in, but I'm honestly a bit worried considering how much they're losing here. You can see that the bottom fort is very likely going to get destroyed now too. The mid lane fort has already been crushed. And with another turn-in, that's definitely in the cards for the Exodia stack. They could destroy the top side fort and then start to focus on the bottom of the map. I mean, even invading here and diving into the back could happen with level 10 abilities, but both teams have now locked them in. Muradin goes for Avatar. Thank God. But even with that, he might not survive. Brightwing helps out. Bishops falls eventually. That's doubloons on the ground, and falls dead instantly with a quick gust. So far, so good for the Exodia stack. They're dropping Valera too. That's a double kill. And now they're going for the Haka. And they are not going to let up on him. They want those 12 doubloons that he's holding. And they want the fort. The fort is gone. The Haka is dead. And there's the booty. So much gold. Nice. So, able to take the doubloons. 9 kills to 2. And a big opportunity now. They still hold 17 doubloons that they could use to attack again. And this is pretty darn big. This is actually brilliant for them. Hazu's already going for another camp. They are, of course, hoping for the next turn-in on Blackhearts. But, yep, this is looking extremely good now for the Exodia stack in game number 1. The strategy and idea that we've seen from the blue team has just not worked out. There's the turn-in. Valera is coming in. They want to try and get at least a kill on Rhaegar, and even that doesn't seem to be in the cards for them. Isolation on Tracer at least, but it's still not enough, is it now? Dino's moving away. They're body blocking Yasuo, and that's a kill. Rhaegar goes down. So, Team Ash, with a typical aggression, is at least able to get a kill. The ragdoll gets kicked around, even over water. He is doggy Jesus, apparently. Oh, good for him. But with Valera going down... How many times has Valera died right now? This is actually kind of insane. Hogger is still pushing at the top. Now they get a kill on Falstad, but Valera has now died 6 times. 6 times that Valera has fallen. Tracer is gone, so is Falstad, so I gotta give it to Team Ash. At least they're able to do some damage here. The problem is still the same. These fights all happen in the context of someone, mostly Hogger, on the side of the Exodia stack, getting free damage in on those keep walls now. So the keep in the middle has already been damaged. With another turn-in on the red team side, they are guaranteed to take that keep out. And then on top of that, what we're seeing is Hogger destroying even more structures. And every single tower you take down, every single gate that gets destroyed, essentially leads to more of a structural lead that can be exploited with additional turn-ins. So the fort here in the middle is now getting dropped as the turn-in has finally been realized for Team Ash, but they're losing heroes again. I mean, Valera is just getting farmed. Valera is an oversized minion that gives a bit of extra experience. That's all that we're seeing here. This is now death number 7 or death number 8. So she is just absolutely getting murdered here time and time again. And it's not even close. Now Murden is gone. They're chasing the rest of the team too. Gul'dan is not going to make it. And with the cocoon on the Haka, they can definitely drop him as well. So an utter disaster in game number 1 for Team Ash. A couple of really nice moves that they made, but all in all, just no chance. The keep in the middle has already been destroyed. Question is simply, can they go for core here? Given the death timers, it doesn't seem likely, but what they can do is steal some additional camps away and then just use that to get themselves even farther ahead, get those doubloons and turn them in, and yeah, just try to get another keep destroyed, because that's essentially what's going to happen at the top lane if they're able to get that additional turn in. So yep, things are a little bit wild here. Next camp is already underway. Bottom camp got to be taken here too. Damage numbers, 7 deaths. 7 deaths! That's just rough. Valera is coming in and says hello real quickly. I mean, the idea behind it is obviously that Valera moves in, starts things off, then Brightwing, you know, teleports, gets a poly through, and the team can maybe even activate the Haka to help out, and then they have a 3 versus 1, and they can get their kills. If that works out, then they can get kill after kill and gain momentum that allows them to push this further, but that's just not the case currently. What we're seeing instead is the boss being taken here. We're having the next attack happening at the bottom of the map. Siege Giants are on the line. The level 16 tellers give us Epicenter. We have Falstad in this case now with the Afterburner, and Kablooey for Hogger. Chests on the map, but even with the blue team figuring out what's going on, the best that they can hope for is force a fight in this situation. They're trying to cut off their path of retreat. The boss is already on its way, and another camp too. Falstad is simply flying out, and Benny, yes, he might fall. Was also holding a fair amount of doubloons, so the blue team is still aggressive, but this also means that they're going to be a bit late to the party with defense topside. And here's another turn-in attempt, and they got 21 doubloons among the 2 of them. So if they turn in here, then, I mean, basically all the keeps are gone. I think the top side will soak up a few shots, but that also means that the boss is going to go straight for the core after that. So the fight is already happening. Top side keep gets destroyed 100%, and he has the next attack already ongoing. And I feel Team Ash is just trying what they can, you know, to save face is probably the wrong wording here, but to at least get a bit of damage done and play this out. But they know that the game itself is very likely not going to be won anymore. They're just getting chased all across the map. The Exodia stack is going through them like hot butter through cheese. Renella, Yasuo's trying to get away. Yeah, Bishops! They get murdered. So he's gone. Now they're focusing again on Yasuo. And finally the dog falls. But that's not the only thing that dies. After Murden, now we have Renella, sorry, not Renella, Lopaka fall on Valera. And Brightwing has died too. So 18 kills to 8. Basically a 5-man team wipe here. Hogger falls too, but this doesn't even matter. They could just turn in and end the game that way. The bottom keep is so low, it will fall eventually too. Hazu wants the globe, gets a few more shots in. Dead inside, thinks he has an opportunity to get the kill here. And it's just not happening. They don't have the... Well, they actually have the doubloons now to get that turn in, and that will then end the game. They could also have just made a move for the core directly, I suppose. But either way, we got 43,000 damage currently for Falstad, who's been a big part of most of the team fights. Valera is at 25,000, just barely behind the Haka here. Gul'dan made it to 20k, and that's about it. So they're losing the bottom keep now to the barrage, and now the core is getting targeted directly. Nothing they can do about it. It's going to be big damage. It might just not be enough to end the game directly, but even a simple right-click command would probably take care of this. Falstad could fly in. Currently the core is at 61%. 4 more shots are getting fired. And, well, it's 16% that they're left with. One final shot. Is that going to be enough? And 1%, and the Winions take the W for the Exodia stack. GG and well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Solo, map number 2. Well, let's face it, Blackheart's Bay was a bit of a, I would say you can call that a wake-up call what we just saw. Exodia stack was definitely running the show there, and I suppose it was also a reminder that Valeria just sucks. So yeah, not really all that great of a hero if you want to complete a bounty. But then again, how many bounties are there that you can still complete if you're Team Ash? I guess a decent amount, but if they thought, hey, Valera is the one, we can farm Tracer, we're gonna try and farm Falstad. If you gain momentum with a comp like this, you can win this, so it's definitely possible, but against a team like the Exodia stack, that is really difficult and not that easy to pull off. So something that's, yeah, was a bit too much to ask on the last map, I suppose. But they gave it a good effort. It fell apart very quickly. Exodia stack outplayed them, and they knew exactly how to deal with Valera too. So you could see that essentially in every single fight where Valera came in, they instantly started to target her. And with all that pressure against Lopaka, he was just killed over and over again, and that became a massive problem. Now Urel comes in as the first pick. So on the side lane, we're already fine. Cursed Hollow is our map, so you have once again a big map that you can try and exploit a bit with. I don't want to say globals, because what we normally understand as globals would be the Hakan Falstad, and both of them have already been played. But you could still go for Vikings, you could play some Moro, you could play Stage Dive, ETC, Illidan with Hunt is a bounty that we also have. So there are still tools that you can use in order to get there. And just as a reminder, here's the bounty list again, if you guys want to just freshen up a bit on what are possible bounties. Now, of course, some of the teams have already completed bounties, others haven't, but yeah, just generally, there are a couple of options for both of them now still. And when we talk about potential globals, for example, there's still a couple of tools that can be used by them in order to take advantage of the size of the map alone. But we get Sergeant Hammond, we get Uther that already tells you kind of what strategy and ideas behind this. We're going to protect the hammer as much as we can. Diablo and Maiev on the side of Team Ash are already indicating that they want to be very aggressive with this. And for me, it's just a question of what exactly gets paired with those. I personally like it also when you have, let's say, Anduin with Diablo, just simply because Diablo can be so aggressive and just dive in. This, by the way, confuses a lot of people. Yes, I hate Anduin as a character. I still think that the actual hero in the game is insanely strong. Mega powerful, very fun to watch at times, and has a lot of fantastic tools that enable other heroes like Diablo, like Maiev, to go really to the limit, engage, be aggressive, maybe with a light bomb, maybe just with a straight. But the Crybaby itself as a character is obviously a joke. So, good one, Blizzard. People are saying you don't have a sense of humor, and then you give us Anduin. So, yeah. For the Alliance! How can you pick Alliance? Seriously, you have For the Horde on the one end, and then you have like, For the Alliance! I want my money! On the other side. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, honestly, do you just love handicaps? You're just like, yeah, this is too easy. So I have to go for Alliance. Like, I don't really know what the thought process behind it is, but just like, damn. Something is clearly... I mean, you have to be a massive beta in order to pick Alliance. I'm sorry, boys, but that's just what it is. Stukov and Liming. So, Reset City. If they can perform here. And Murky! Dainu on Murky, and we get Bad Benny on Arthurs. Alright, so the last two picks, definitely interesting ones. Total bulwark here. And here come the Vikings for Team Ash. Guys, we are in the Murky Cup. In case that you haven't realized it yet, here it is. Murky, triple bounty as well. Cursed Hollow, map number 2. The Exodia stack is in the lead. We are in the semifinal of the winner bracket. Let's go for the second map. Game number 2, Team Ash on the left, ladies and gentlemen. They are now down 1 game in this best of 5 series. We have Renella on Stukov, down for life on Liming. Lopaka's playing Diablo. We got Dead Inside on the Vikings, coming in with the Spy Games, and then Bishops on Maiev. Over on the right side of the map, obviously, we have Copenhagen on Urel, Hazops on Sergeant Hammer, Dino and Murky. Arthas, look at that! Benny's going for Eternal Hunger here. Me likey, we get a Frostmourne build, and Yazu on Uther. It's actually kind of interesting. After I made, as usual, fun of Anduin, I learned from my chat that apparently in the latest World of Warcraft expansion, they made him even worse. Now, first of all, I don't know how that's even possible. Second of all, I thought they were trying to make him more manly. I mean, he was trying to grow a beard. It was a little bit of a problem, you know, like one of these like 14, 15-year-olds that barely get a little bit of stubble in the face and then try to look sexy. So that's how it felt with him. But apparently they made Anduin worse and more of a crybaby. I have no idea how Blizzard managed that, but hey, kudos. That takes some real effort. Li Ming apparently dropped, so once that they're back, we're going to continue with map number 2, where we have the Vikings going up against Murky. Alright, so we are back to business, and well, that break or that quick pause that they had here had one advantage. I now know what's happening with Anduin, so my chat thankfully updated me a bit, and it's actually really interesting because I was told that Anduin can't do anything now in the new lore, and he's crying all the time. And I was really confused by this because that was true before. He was crying all the time before, and he was useless before as well. But apparently, the new revelation is that he actually knows it now too. Before, everybody else knew that he was useless and a crybaby. Now he's also fully aware what's going on here. That's personal growth. So Anduin's story continues apparently. He's learning about his own failures, and you know, Selbsterkenntnis ist der erste Schritt zur Besserung. Fantastic, I'm absolutely here for it. Anduin, you know, at some point he's going to turn a page. People said he is basically dealing with his PTSD right now, so I wish him good luck on his journey. May he be killed by an orc swiftly, but as long as we have him here in the Nexus with a couple of nice talents, I'm still all for it. So we always have a place for it here, just as long as he doesn't start talking. Now, on level 1, we get Force Armor, so we could see some interesting choices there too. I already talked a little bit earlier about the trade build that we're getting from Arthas. Always very happy about that when we get that, because it's kind of cool. I still would love for Blizzard to buff this a bit. The just full-on trade build to make Arthas more of a bruiser. Would be really neat if they could do that. Not too much. It's too easy to overbuff something, but you know, a little bit of number tweaking would be nice. This is probably one of the biggest problems that I have with Blizzard in general, that especially the pros in HGC were telling them for a long time that what they should do in order to make the game just generally a little bit more interesting and more dynamic is not to always rework heroes the way that they've been doing it, but just slowly start buffing the heroes that are not getting played just by a bit. Not by much, just tweaking their numbers a tiny amount, and then wait until, you know, a certain threshold is reached where players are saying, hey, you know what, now I can actually try and use this hero in a draft. But Blizzard went always way overboard with their balancing efforts and thought they had to reinvent every single hero. They had to reinvent how things were done there, and spent way too much time on these things and essentially just did too little, and the game was at times a bit stale. I mean, Genji is a very good example of that. He could have definitely been nerfed slowly and steadily, just on the number side a little bit. You reduce his damage just slightly, make him maybe a little bit more vulnerable. Not too much, just a tiny amount. Buff a couple of other heroes in the same vein, and then all of a sudden new meta will emerge over time, and that's something, or a lesson, that Blizzard for some reason never really understood, which is a shame, because they were told over and over and over again. Every single summit that we had with Blizzards and people from, with players and Blizzard employees that were working in development there, the topic was brought up, and it's actually a shame that they never took them up on this. But yeah, anyways. As is in our game here, first blood maybe now? No, still no. 3.5 minutes in right now as the action continues. I was actually thinking that now one of them would die. The tribute was already claimed, but since they pushed for the map even further, they had a bit of an opportunity here to make a move. Right now, level 7 talents are kicking in. Force Armor on 1 for Li Ming, but we still get Calamity here. Murky is now also going into his Slime talents with a Black Lagoon. And on level 7, of course, the mobility is also kicking in for good old Sergeant Hammer, which is essentially where she becomes a hero. Top side, Murky against the Vikings. The epic battle. Murky against the Vikings. The fight that I didn't know I needed. We're now 4.5 minutes into the game and nobody has fallen yet, so a very different approach currently. There is, by the way, the chance that both teams are going for a bounty. Now, obviously, the Exodia stack is already going for a bounty, just playing Murky is doing that trick. But there is an opportunity here to pick Longboat on level 10 for Team Ash. That could be done by them. We have one Longboat bounty that was completed, to my knowledge, and one only. That's from the Exodia stack. But maybe Team Ash is now trying to draw even with them. So definitely an opportunity here. Now the attacks still keep coming. They're coming in for Murky. Murky's not going to make it here, but he still has an egg, so he's going to be totally fine. That second tribute, on the other hand, is still fought over. And Sergeant Hammer, while it's happening, is pushing at the bottom of the map, trying to take the wall and maybe a few hit points off the fort. Renella gets stunned as Uther just simply going for a bit of a walk by here. The root on the ground. Quest on level 1 for Benny is nearly completed, so when it comes to his trade build, it will make things easier. Urel is gone, but Benny should fall as well. Here comes Arthur's tethered back in. He's dead, and they're trying for another one as Uther gets targeted by Diablo. Is able to get away here. Level 10 kicks in. We get indeed the longboat for the Vikings. And now the push for the bot lane. Lopaka still hoping that he can make a play here. Dodging the BFG. Uther is gone. Li Ming with a combo. And there comes the disc and also the lurking arm. Doesn't seem like Hazu's going to make it either. The stun in the wall is just a bit too much for him to handle, I suppose. And with the resets, Li Ming is able to get them another kill. So that is Sergeant Hammer gone as well. 4 kills to 1. And Team Ash with some real big plays now. And a nice combo. Damn, son. That was beautiful against Urel. Fantastic combo against Urel that leads to another kill. She had no chance there. Gets fully stunned out. Murky, on the other hand, coming in with the Murloc flank. The Murloc flank. And Renella goes down, maybe. Yep, but barely. They're still gonna get Arthur's here, aren't they? Arthur's is too low. Oh, what a beautiful fight. The Murky flank. And now they're taking Arthur's down. I have no idea how Li Ming survived through all of this. But it initially started with this little fight here. Check out how quickly Urel gets murdered. The entire combo that gets unleashed on her was just so well executed. She had no chance. Couldn't even use her ult. It was immediately stupid with the lurking arm. And then they just got murdered. 7 kills to 2 now. And the game is just glorious. Absolute beauty. So now we have level 13 coming up next. That's going to start kicking in quickly. And it doesn't seem that the blue team has already sniffed out what's going on here. Or they would have most likely gone for their own boss. Instead, they have now seen at least what's happening topside and was thinking about invading, but it doesn't look like they're going to fully commit to this one. So it's going to be only one boss on the map, which is always a bit of a problem and a tiny little bit of a disaster. But yeah, 13 is ready. This could be a curse. Nice. Sergeant Hammer doesn't get this quickly enough to avoid the BFG from setting the interrupt in. But here's the curse. They're getting it. That was a really nice dodge from Down for Life. And now the red team is cursed. Mid lane, bot lane, both in trouble. Down at the bottom of the map, we've already seen previously that the fort was taken out. Vikings are here. No longboat though. I was actually waiting for it. I was thinking we were going to get the longboat for sure now. But instead they're aiming for Hazu and Divine Shield. Divine Shield is in. Bishops is on the move, trying to deliver the final blow, and even Down for Life here, getting a shot off. Yeah, the problem is still that there is obviously a curse, so you can invade this very easily, and they're trying to. In the middle of the map, the fort is about to fall. Down at the bottom, it's now Urel that is desperately trying to defend. So there is aggression everywhere. And the Vikings have also, in the mid lane at least, started to absolutely proxy the waves here so that the fort can be attacked even faster. Top lane protected by the boss, of course. Here comes level 15 versus 13. Even talents. Diablo down, had the soul stacks. He'll be back. Benny, though, is also coming in with a bit more aggression and trying to make a move. And in addition to that, the curse is now slowly dissipating. The keep at the bottom has taken damage. Arthur's dies. And the keep has taken a fair amount of damage. The wall is fully gone. Half of the hit points here are gone. Even in the middle, we've seen some hurting. And raw damage output. Sergeant Hammer, 36,000. Definitely strong. But then in addition to that, we're also getting now Li Ming with 35,000 herself. So not too shabby either. So yeah, good damage from her. And there's still a boss up on the map. And that boss is now being fought for. Li Ming hasn't died yet either. Everybody on the right side of the map has at least died once. Now in the context of Murky, he has not lost his egg as far as I could tell. But there's now a 1 level advantage easily for the blue team. And they can maybe take the keep at the bottom. The boss is moving in. Keep is already low at 50% HP. So there's not really a reason why they wouldn't be able to take that keep out now. But time will tell. Let's see if they can pull it off here. They should be able to. I would be very, very shocked if they weren't able to take that keep apart. Especially with Li Ming now already poking them down even beforehand. 9 kills to 3. And the question is not so much can they kill the keep. The question is can they go for the core now. This could be the tie in the series. We have a best of 5 in our hands, and there's definitely some spicy plays happening already. Desperate attempt by the Exodia stack to defend here, but Team Ash, with the typical aggression that we know from them, is starting to go in. Murky with the march of the Murlocs here. Stukov doesn't like that at all, by the way. I mean, not even a little bit. But the core is now slowly starting to lose its shield, but they are still waiting for a kill, and instead it's Bishops that dies. So Bishops is down, and this is starting to put an end on it. Murky still trying to counter that retreat. Core is losing hit points. We still have to drop it, but 80%, so 20 have been eliminated. And while they're retreating, there's the top side pushing too. So this keep is likely going to take some damage as well. They should be able to defend it though and send somebody back to deal with it. Another tribute also spawning, and if they can just slow the red team down a tiny little bit, they might be able to sneak in that... Oh! No! Why are you turning around? She saved you! And why is nobody channeling this? One of the Vikings should have done that. There's so many questions right now. Why did Balog die? Why did nobody else channel the tribute and sneak it in real quickly? Why has the top side keep lost more than 50% of its HP? Team Ash, boys, you did a great job here. You started off really well with that push at the bottom of the map, but now I have questions. Now it seems like this is a freebie tribute for the red team, or at least a possible one, and they already have one. You don't want to put them in a spot where they can curse you. For the Exodia stack, this is great. I mean, again, allows them to potentially bring this back now as well, but it still feels like it's a bit unnecessary. So a bit of chaos, and the red team is trying to capitalize on it now. And of course, if they can come back here, the 2-0 lead would go really well. Also completing the Murky bounty gives you 3 tickets for the bounty pool. It's called the Murky Cup for a reason. We want to see Murky. And we're seeing Murky. There's a big incentive here. Yeah, Diablo's dead. March of the Murlocs, great howling blast from Bad Benny. Absolutely no chance of survival here. And Murky is actually doing pretty okay. That's the second tribute that they're now going to grab, or at least they're trying. The interrupt happened once more. Arthur's with the army of the dead is moving in from the side. A hard flank from Benny. They want more kills and they're getting them. Renella is down. The tether from IF, that doesn't save her either. And now they're just going for Li Ming, down for life. He had a good run, but this is going to be the end of him. He's finally going to fall. So now it's 9 kills to 9. Exactly, yeah, that's what I said. And the fort is gone. And they get the tribute. There's also a boss at the top that they could technically now go for again. 27 stacks, by the way, for Arthur's. So he's starting to become a bit more of a bruiser here. Arthur's currently sitting at 34,000 damage. Now Diablo's at 22k, just to get a bit of an idea. And Arthur's has heavily specced into Frostmon throughout all of this, so let's not forget about that. But this could be the comeback. I'm actually impressed. I did not think they could be able to come. I mean, again, think about it for a second. About a minute ago, 2 minutes ago, we were on the red team's core, and it lost its shield and 20% of its hit points. It looked like maybe, just maybe, there's a chance for Team Ash to win the game right then and there. Now, very different story. all of a sudden, the Exodia stack is in a position where they might just be able to turn this around and win this one. The boss at the top is now getting claimed, so yep, they're coming in for it. And try to grab it quickly. Yeah, also gets rooted here, but the blue team is going to be a bit too late to that party if they want to make a difference. So yeah, boss is taken. A bit later than expected. But there's also now a tribute at the bottom of the map, and if taken by the Exodia stack, then it's a curse. And that would be curse plus boss at the same time. So Murky is already moving in for it. With the level 20 talents, we're getting the Fury of the Storm. Arthas has gone into the Legion of Northrend, and as the boss is pushing through the top, they are trying to kill a couple of heroes as well. And I gotta say it again, that is curse plus a boss. And guys, that topside keep has already lost a lot of hit points. This could be game. The Exodia stack just turned the game around. They definitely did. They turned the game around. Now Yasuo went down, but he has redemption. So he's back. There's a fountain even on the lane that he can now try and use. And while they are fighting here, the boss has already eliminated the keep itself. So the keep is gone. Boss is going for core. Nobody's defending. Nobody is defending the blue team's core at this point. And the fight just rages on. Murky goes down. A couple of Vikings are falling. The shield slowly eliminated on the blue team's core. Team Ash needs to send someone back to defend. And the team is now finally on the move. But this is still bad news. 50% of the hit points are gone. Balog goes down. They can't end here though. They're not even trying. Nobody's coming with in order to try and eliminate it. But the core is down to now 72%. And they're still pushing a bit. That curse isn't over. That curse is still another 10 seconds strong. Which means that at least in the middle, the wall falls. So there are opportunities here. And the Vikings are all gone. Murky gets destroyed. Needs to come back from the egg for sure. But they're looking for kills and they're looking to end the game. 68% on the core now. And look at that keep in the middle. Nobody's defending here because they gotta defend the top lane. And while that happens, keeps get attacked. Sergeant Hammer though is down. The hammer is gone. Has been dropped. Li Ming, Arthas. It is a bloodbath here. An absolute bloodbath. The Reckoning as we get another attack on Urel. She's gone. Killed by Bishops. Lopaka also dead. They gotta be careful or it's gonna be a march across the map for the core. Both teams have now that risk, but the keep will be destroyed. Or will it? I think it's gonna survive. Alright, that's a job for Murky right there. That is a job for Murky. Alright, they have it. That, on the other hand, could be GG. If this gets taken, this could be GG. So, 14 kills to 11. I love this game. I love this game, I love the map. It's just so damn good. So Murky goes down, but yeah, that's the end of it. That's game. I don't see a world in where they can defend this, right? It can't happen. It's impossible. 17-minute boss. Well, with Sergeant Hammer, you know, maybe Murky is trying to take a couple of siege giants here, but has to retreat. They need the Marshal of the Murlocs for sure in order to stop this. This is not going to be an easy defense. I don't think it's impossible, but it's going to be very, very tough to win this one here. Siege giants, yeah, Arthas is already driving them back very heavily. It's so difficult to kill him with his level 20. I don't think they can. They don't have the stacks for it either. So, boss gets slowly attacked. Oh, this is gonna be so tough. Where's Murky? Murky on 20 went for the big Tuna Kahuna. They kill one. They take down Diablo. That's big. Oh, and the BFG. Nearly got a kill there too. Nice reactions though. And actually they might be able to defend this. The boss is already down to 50%. It's still difficult. It's still not easy. Nah, they can't defend, right? Can they? This game. Team Ash, ladies and gentlemen, is able to take game number 2. We are going to the third map of the best of 5 series with an even score as Team Ash takes Cursed Hollow. GG. Game number 3 in the best of 5. Garden of Terror. The series tied. Now, Murky didn't make it for the Exodia stack, but the Vikings longboat bounty got completed by Team Ash. Now, they used the boat apparently in the last fight. I gotta say, there were many fights where I expected it to be used, and it just didn't happen. So, a little bit disappointing. I thought that would be the case, but yeah, kinda sad. Either way, they did it. Longboat bounty completed, good for Team Ash. Now, that leaves us, of course, with the question, what exactly is the Exodia stack now going to do? I mean, what are they going to pull off right now? Is this another bounty attempt? Is it just them trying to make sure that they're winning the game now and that they're getting with the lead into game number 4? Because if they're losing on Garden of Terror, then the problem that you obviously have is that you need to win 2 in a row if you want to decide the series in your favor and move on to the winner bracket final. Since we have a lower bracket, since there is a loser's bracket, you can always make an argument like, well, they have always the chance to go through the lower bracket, but yeah, it's kind of tough. Then you're really starting to run out of options. As we are moving farther into the playoffs, it's more and more important that you're actually not going for bounties, I think, and that you're instead trying to win the game, because there's also normal prize money on the line. So that risk-reward calculation is, in my opinion, now slowly starting to really swing in favor of not playing a bounty. But let's not forget that with this being game number 3, we now have seen 20 heroes being played, and those heroes can't be played again. So that starts to limit the hero pool also slightly, which at least means that some of the typical picks are now unavailable, and create also a bit more hero diversity in what we're seeing in those games. Still, Johanna and Sylvanas, as you can see, it's not limiting to an extent where all of a sudden you're just seeing crazy heroes being picked or anything. We have Blaze, Varian, and Malfurion. So Benny again with Varian. I'm telling you, if there is one team that is going to try the Twin Blade bounty, it's going to be the Exodia stack. It's just my feeling. But at the same time, they're also the team that with Bad Benny have played a lot of Varian, and just these sniper comms with Varian taunt into Stukov, into Malfurion, into an Uther stun, whatever it may be, they are so powerful as long as you have some burst damage behind it. Vala with continuous auto attacks can do a lot too, so she gets banned out. They already took Abatha away as an option. And yeah, let's see what exactly the red team has planned. They're usually the ones that love to do their bounties, so yeah. But alright. Final ban before we're getting the answer here. Anduin. You can't play Anduin with Sylvanas. Lore-wise, that's just not okay. And again, we're talking Khaldor lore here. Mine is just way better than what Blizzard is currently doing. So, blue team, come on. Garden of Terror. Are we going to get some crazy... If we're getting a crazy pick... I mean, honestly, I think it's mostly Parker that plays the crazy ones for him. I highlighted him a bit when he picked Valeera, but he's also the one that played Gazlo and Murky for them and a few others. So, now we get Deckard Cain, the old man, and we get Leoric. Alright, the janitor's in the house. If we get another melee, we might see Windblades. If they're that desperate to complete the final few bounties and really want to give it a shot, then they need another melee here. But I don't think it's going to happen. Not in this series. Maybe another one when they have a 2-0 lead, then I can see them trying it, but not really against Team Ash in the semi-final of the winner bracket. That would be a surprise. They go for Fia and they go for Jaina, so we get double mage over here. Looks like a very normal and standard comp now from Team Exodia stack. And the final pick then, of course, now coming in for Team Ash as we're starting to head into game number 3 of the Best of 5 series. And yeah, let's have a look. Garden of Terror. So, who's going to claim it here? There's another big map, and we need more damage for the blue team. Team Ash, final weapon of choice, it is Chromie. More mages. Garden of Terror, ladies and gentlemen, game number 3 here at the Murky Cup playoffs in the winner bracket semifinal between the Exodia stack and Team Ash. The series is tied as Renella on the left side picks Deckard Cain. We have Dead inside, Leon Leoric. Down for life on Chromie, first mage in the house, with Bishops playing Sylvanas, definitely one of his favorites. And Loparka finds himself in the front lane again as Johanna, this time all ready to soak up some damage for the team. On the right side, it is the Exodia stack with Copenhagen on Blaze, We have Hazops on Jaina. Dino is playing Ophia, so strike going up for the schoolgirl here, with Yazu on Malfurion and Bad Benny on Varian. Alrighty, so which team is gonna take it here? Renella, the old man on the money pig. Nice, me likey. So it's money pig, Deckard Kane. This is just glorious. I love how he color coordinated this perfectly. This is so damn good. Renella, kudos. That is definitely a work of art. Absolute beauty here. So, they are going for the tower destruction at the bottom of the map, trying to instantly take one of the towers down as quickly as possible here, in an attempt, of course, to give themselves a slight lead on all of this. And, well, they nearly took it down. So, they're very close. Dino still getting forced back just a tiny little bit, as Dead Inside is now starting to move towards the top and make his move against Blaze. The one-on-one has been locked in. The slow is immediately coming through. Always swing and then drain. And he's actually chasing him. Wow, out here. Yeah, Sylvanas is sitting in the middle and is doing her job right there. Trying to, again, push for structure, so at least blow those minion waves to Kingdom Come. As at the bottom of the map, we could see maybe even the first kill. Yeah, Dino on Ophia gets murdered by Chromie. He's pretty happy about this. Bye-bye! So, yeah. Goodbye, Ophia. So, that one hurt. Now, Ophia is actually not that shabby. She hits pretty hard. The reason why she hits pretty hard is because that coffin that she's carrying is filled with the hopes and dreams of all the HGC players after the league was cancelled. And that's some heavy stuff, guys. So if she hits you with that thing full force, then it's gonna leave some bruises. At the least. So Ophia, as the game continues, is gonna get some damage in. But yeah, top side, on the top left, we're getting the next move. And yep, it's gonna be some siege giants. It's the map that has the most mercenary camps. You want to get as much control as you can possibly have there. For now, we have also, by the way, on Chromie with a Sandblast build, 8 stacks on her level 1. Yeah, Jojo gets attacked again. 1 kill to 0 is all that we got so far. So poor Ophia hasn't gotten any company yet in that little graveyard that's called the Nexus. Lopaka might join soon though, but Jojo is able to get out. They were a bit too close to the wall for the red team to really take a kill here. But, well, at the top, the push continues. So this is always Sylvanas just moving around and trying to make a couple of plays. But with Leoric staying maybe a tad too long, he's likely going to be the next one to fall. And yep, Leo is down. So, Leoki gets annihilated. He's already gone. I'm telling you, Ophia is hitting hard. And now, Leoric is as dead as HGC. The difference between the two is he actually comes back. And that's exactly where we have him now. So, misses the drain. And Chromie is just keeping the enemies at bay down at the bottom of the map. And as far as early games go, again, it's a little bit of poking, a little bit of prodding, teams going for the camps. The one thing that stands out is that Team Ash right now is hoping to take a few structures out with the help of Sylvanas. So these Bishops rotations that we've seen now a few times are definitely working for them. But, yeah, not looking too bad. Well, that said, Copenhagen, dead inside, alright. And Leorki. Leorki is gone once more. He gets hit again. That's now the second kill against him. And it seems Deckard Kane is also going to follow. They're going for all of the Diablo characters all of a sudden. So, yeah, here comes the play for Jojo, and at least she makes it out. Yeah, the only HGC that is still alive these days is actually the Heroes Gaming community. That one is still alive and kicking. And, well, once again, if you're actually checking this out on YouTube, first of all, give the video a thumbs up, but also, we still have the shop. There should actually be a couple of things under the video window. There's also a link in the description. We have HGC merch, mugs, shirts, and everything. So the Heroes Gaming community is still going strong. The other HGC, that's in Ophia's coffin. Sorry. Hard truths, I know. But it is what it is. 4 kills to 1 by now for the Exodia stack, so this is more looking like the performance that we had in game number 1 from them. than what happened on the last map where they were trying to use Murky on Cursed Hollow to get a victory. The level lead that they are now running is also making things much easier, since with an early level 10, they could do a lot here. The first seed went to them too, the second one is spawning in a very nice position for the red team as well. And you can already tell that the blue team is struggling a bit. Yeah, just keeping them at bay. Both teams haven't gone for a bounty here. Both teams taking this dead serious in game 3. I could see game number 4 giving us a bounty or 2 again. But currently it's all about the attempt to just at least get the lead in the best of 5. And yeah, that is what they're heavily working on right now. And the red team is buying themselves a bit of time to get to level 10 first. But of course, if there's an opportunity that presents itself, maybe against Johanna, they're definitely going to try and take it. But that second seed is about to be taken. Down at the bottom of the map, they want Hazu, and he's dead. Hazu dies, he's eliminated, and they're working the fort down. So as I said before, these Sylvanas plays, they are working for the team. It allows them to dive on the fort to get a kill, allows them to take these out quickly, open some walls up. But now fighting as the blue team against an opponent that already has heroic abilities, maybe not the best decision. So Lopaka pays the price, he dies. They're hoping to get Malfurion, which didn't work out, and now Chromie get murdered. So Chromie gets slapped around a little bit. Yeah, she is really excited about that, so we definitely know where her preferences lie. But with the with Decad now also being dropped as the 7th kill for the red team. And they are just absolutely wrecking them over here. Not too bad. Well, either way, with 1 level leads, it's a little bit of a weird one, right? Because we have more kills and we have also the experience lead for the red team, but structurally they have now taken a step back because that bottom fort was lost. It's not only towers that are falling here, it's an actual fort that got destroyed already. Now, it seems like Leo, oh, they really want him. And they get him! But damn did they dive deep for that kill. I'm not quite sure if Leo's really worth that, as they are aiming to take the fort down. I guess it was on the way. But, yeah. It's going to be a bit easier also for Jaina once that she completes her baseline quest, which hasn't happened thus far. We're halfway done here, but careful! Haha! Fia is gone, so is Sylvanas. Both of them get annihilated. Yeah, both of them are getting dropped very quickly. Renella. Nice, I mean, nice control from Renella with that Arcane. He has to be really careful with the positioning here, since you can already see that the red team wants those kills. And they're coming in with all the CC that they bring, not only the stuns, but also the slows. And they're doing real well. But with the blue team adapting to that as we speak, they're now picking up another kill, taking down Jaina. There's obviously a bit of a problem too when you're playing a double mage, as the Exodia stack currently does, and that's namely that you're very cooldown dependent. Benny gets also caught as he tries to run away and rotate top, but yeah, it's gonna be the end of him. Varian is gonna die, he's dead, and that's now 5 kills to 9. Nice route here, not enough to seriously threaten Jojo or anything, but yep, they are able to pick the next route up on this top side. Maybe another push here against the fort. I'm trying to capitalize on this now, and with the next seat on the map, it is now the blue team that takes it. So blue team is going to grab a seat. That means that we are not getting any kind of mega early, I don't know, garden terrors for the Exodia stack. They are still, I'd say, in the driver's seat and doing a great job here, being aggressive. There's catapults now pushing on the lane too, but at the top we have a mercenary camp is now traveling in, and the red team is continuously trying to also do some serious structural damage and is getting closer and closer to make that work. In the middle, they've already damaged the fort. Up at the top, they're now trying again. But the rotation was already ongoing. And starting to move through. Can they do it though? Careful. Dead inside is low. He goes down. Leoric using his trade magnificently in this game. Time and time again, but they're losing way more than that. It's the entire Diablo setup that dies. Jojo, Deckard Cain. Oh, and then also, of course, Leoric. But now Sylvanas has fallen. Yeah, they're getting a bit crushed here, aren't they? So they lose way too much. It's 4 heroes down. Chromie is the only one that, even on her short legs, was somehow able to waddle away from the team fight. But that still leaves the red team up at the fort to the top, and they claim this very quickly and easily. So the fort gets destroyed, 6 kills to 13. We're now having another seat about to be claimed, that if they are able to grab this one, then yeah, it's going to be, of course, very easily the first set of Garden Terrors for the red team. And they take it! Garden Terrors in the house. That's the moment when they can start making the big move for maybe even a keep. The fort in the middle should fall. Top side, Leo's gonna defend. And they're burning Joanna down. She doesn't have a chance. Doesn't stand a prayer here. Sylvanas try to go deep into the back line to get a potential kill, and that hasn't worked out. Orphea is pushing out the bot lane with a plan to attempt and put pressure on the bottom fort. Top side again, Leo still defending, but here in the middle, this one is getting crushed. And what is probably a bit more worrisome is that level 16 talent. That's a big power spike now for the Exodia stack, and definitely problematic. So, yep, Exodia stack is about to destroy the final fort of the game on the blue team side, and yep, this is bad news for Team Ash. They're not out of the game or anything yet. They have taken one fort out earlier too, but they have to at least bridge the gap in experience now to get to level 16 talents. We have Orphea on 29,000 damage. Chromie is the only one that's actually ahead of her with a 35k that she contributed thus far. Leo activated a straight 4 times in this game. And outside of that, the follow-up would be Orphea on the red team side. But they are already back pushing. I mean, they rotate Sylvanas to the top to try and just take these out. I thought they would need her down at the bottom of the map to defend, but of course another reason why they have her in that spot is that they are trying to get the experience. They have level 60 now, that helps. Sylvanas immediately moves back after they reach that talent, but there's still the push at the top with a big wave that she built up, so this fort topside might even fall. Down here though, Jojo dies, and with Jojo gone, it's a completely different situation. So all of a sudden it's a 4 versus 5. Bishops also gets crushed as Varian just follows up on him. Does show no mercy at all. And now they can potentially drop that keep. They've still 5 heroes around here. They can easily start to make that move. Keep gets poked out, specifically of course by the mages. Every time the cooldown setup is ready, they can move in and drop the damage, and they're doing that already on Chromie. She at least gets a counter kill on Jaina, but Chromie is gone regardless. Now that Varian falls, maybe the defense is able to pull it off after all. Nice Entomb also against Dino. They don't have a lot of attackers left here, or defenders that could go on the attack. And Leoric dies, but the jet propulsion also misses, and Jojo is back to business. Now, chasing this might be a bit questionable. I'm not quite sure if they should go that far. But, yeah. And the lead in experience is still maintained. It's still at 1 level, essentially, between the two teams. With 50,000 damage now from Orphea. 53,000 from Chromie. That fight just never ends. I mean, they're fighting from the left side of the map all the way over to the right here. Dainu is isolated and gets killed by the shield glare. Alright, that doesn't happen too often either. So shield glare takes him out, and they're instantly starting to focus on the camps that were still up on the map. So camps are getting attacked here. We have now 18 to 9 kills. And yeah, still a few more camps thanks to the ability rotation from Jaina get grabbed here as well. Blue team is trying to bring the experience gap to a close, and they're getting it done to an extent, I guess, but honestly not all that much. The gap is still pretty big. And now at the top, yeah, the attacks from Leo pushing the side lane out. The catapults are of course a bit of a thorn in their side that they have to deal with eventually. Would have been nice for Sylvanas to drop the top fort, but again she needed to come back to defend to help out there. Right now, well, let's have a look. So at this point, yeah, they're trying to still get everybody back down at the bottom of the map. The red team is trying to do the same. So everybody's just setting up for the next objective. Part of the problem is, of course, that the blue team has now 2 seeds. And with 2 seeds to their name, that simply means that they will be able to get Garden Terrors if they grab that seed. So what would be real sweet for the red team is grabbing level 20 before that seed is becoming an issue. Sylvanas taking the fort out, by the way, helps against the catapults. I've been talking about this a bit earlier. But it's really an issue if you have these catapults in the later stages of the game push against your top side. But now that we have siege giants, it should be able to push the top lane out without a problem. The seed, on the other hand, gets channeled by the red team. Against Storm Talents, you don't want to engage. There's not really a whole lot that they can do. So, yeah, 9 kills to 18. And by now, the blue team's job is simply to get to level 20. Which is what they're doing as we speak. But maybe they went a bit too deep. Bishops. Oh, yeah, that's a dead Sylvanas. That hurts. Bishops gets a bit outplayed down here. That rotation hit him hard, and there was no escaping this. And that, of course, puts the red team immediately in front of the keep that they wanted to take. And there's no defenders, so it doesn't get more perfect than that for them. So, yes, that one was a problem. And a big one, too. 19 to 9 on the kill count. Jojo is at the top and is hearthing back. That seed will have to be given up because Sylvanas isn't there. Well, actually, 14 seconds. Maybe they can poke for 10 seconds if they really want it. If they keep Jojo nearby, for example, that shield glare, the hammers. But yeah, if they have to buy the time here, they need to be super careful that they're not getting too greedy. So, yeah. Nah, they're getting it. They're getting it. Yeah, and what does that mean? That means that we now have 2 seeds on each side. Each team with 2 seeds, and that is a bit of a problem for Team Ash. When they had 2 seeds to 0, they were in a great spot to start a big comeback here. But now that it's 2 for 2, the next one to channel. I don't want to go as far as to say who's going to win the game, but it's going to have a pretty good shot at it. Because we're now 17 minutes in, so the scaling definitely plays a bit of a role. While the blue team hasn't taken the keep out yet on their opponent's side, they have destroyed all of the forts. Yeah, well, we'll see. Either way, seed is spawning at the top right now. And let's see what they can do here. Siege giants are in. This is a bit of this. I mean, again, now you have to fight. There's no other way. You gotta fight for this. 51,000 damage for Fia, 54,000 for Chromie. Mages are trying to control the choke points here as best as they can. The attack against Malfurion, and he somehow gets out, at least initially. But the follow-up is there. Down here, though, the attack, and it's Leo that falls. They couldn't get a kill. So many of the heroes were mega low on the side of the Exodia stack, but no kill for the blue team. And it seems like Varian is just chasing once that taunt. Wants to come in and taunt them out. Couldn't do that yet. Maybe now, Jet Propulsion. Leo's gonna be back soon, TM. If they can buy a bit more time, maybe they got a chance to bring him back into the fight. But they go for Chromie now. She's a bit low. The Jet Propulsion hits and she dies. And so does Deckard Kane. And this looks really bad for Team Ash. The Exodia stack with enormous momentum now. 3 heroes dead on the side of the blue team. Here come the Garden Terrors. They want Lopaka, and the more time passes before they get the kill, assuming they do, the better for the Exodia stack. It just means that they're going to be in a spot where it's staggered deaths. Nice kill by Leoric, though. Leoric is ghosting in and takes down Malfurion, so good for him. I just don't think that it's really going to make a difference. Dino against Bishops, and he falls. Bishops takes him down. The problem is that now the core is falling. And that's just game. That's game. That's a victory for the Exodia stack on the second map. 34 kills in total, 23 to 11. The Exodia stack now with a lead in the best of 5 series. GG. Aldrich Pass, map number 4, and therefore match point number 1, of course. So now we have the Exodia stack in the lead after the performance on Garden of Terror, our last map. We're heading straight into Aldrich Pass. This is a general shift that has happened over the last couple of years. This is actually very interesting. Because initially, when you look at maps like Alderac Pass and also specifically Garden of Terror, a lot of the teams didn't really want to play these maps. They were not in the competitive pool. When we're talking about these tournaments here, most of the maps didn't appear there. They didn't want to play them. And actually, we started to slowly add them in because we were like, hey, we need a bit more map diversity too. We have so many maps in the pool. Why don't we just add them for a bit of fun with patches not really being put into the game anymore? That makes a whole lot of sense. Oh, by the way, for players from Heroes of the Storm that don't experience other games, patches is when the company cares about a game and then tries to every now and then change it a little bit, introduce new things to the game, or change things that exist within the game to make it more appealing to the player base, and just try and rejuvenate things slightly. So just for the Heroes players, yeah. But yeah, so since we didn't have a lot of that going on anymore, we thought might as well add some of the maps that are not all that popular into the map pool. And all of a sudden we have Alderac Pass, Garden of Terror, taking actually taking a lot over other maps that you would expect to be more popular with the teams. So it's kind of interesting to me. It's a nice little change. It's something that has happened over the last couple of years, and it definitely made things interesting. There's still a couple of maps that I personally more or less refuse to actually add to tournaments that I at least run, because let's face it, Volskaya Foundry is just horrible. And players begged us to at least leave Hanamura out, because the map is just total trash. So in that context, yeah, these are the only two that are very rarely being played. I have to say though, when Volskaya. When Volskaya was played in the Korea tournament, that was still kind of cool. Oh, somebody forgot a ban. Look at that. Uh-huh. You have to press the button, my friend. Quick note also, if you haven't seen the Korea tournament yet, the Korea Cup, or if you haven't seen, let's say, the North American tournament and you want to experience some different meta just in general and also different playstyles, different talents that are being picked, you can still catch them on YouTube. So there's a playlist you can see there, and yeah, if you just like dive into the playlist on YouTube, essentially all of the tournaments that we've run have their own playlist and can therefore be checked out there. Now, Abathar is the first pick. On Alderac Pass, I'm not 100% certain if Team Ash already completed the bounty around the monstrosity, but Abathar as the first pick is definitely interesting. They are behind, keep that in mind, they are actually behind. So if you lose here, you drop down into the losers bracket. Do they really want to play a bounty in that environment? Not certain. But we get Tyrael and Vala for the red team, for the Exodia. Second Vala with a shield on Tyrael. Also is level 7, and that there's actually a couple of really nice synergies that they can unleash here. And again, the reminder, we have now 30 heroes that are unavailable. We have a draft restriction. A hero that has been played cannot be played again. So this can very well kick in over here as the teams face off against each other. Let's see if they are remembering to press the button this time. I also don't know what exactly they would have banned. Maybe Cassia, but yeah, maybe not. So. Okay, ETC. I was honestly waiting for them missing out on the ban. And if you are asking yourself why exactly they're banning ETC, the answer is actually very simple. Because ETC was played, I think, in the last 3 Alderac Pass, in the last couple of games on maps like Garden of Terror, mainly, but also Alderac Pass, by Team Ash. They really like to play ETC these days, so I don't blame them whatsoever that they're getting rid of ETC here. It's not a bad choice given how many heroes are already unavailable, and in that context, it's not really a bad one that they are getting rid of. So Parker has been playing a mean ETC, and he's not the only one, so they've been shifting the hero around a bit between multiple players. Also want to avoid another stun. Okay, Chen. Oh, Chen and Lily bounty, apparently. Chen, Lily for the Exodia stack. Again, they are in the lead now. They can take a risk. That's the thought process here. We are in the lead. If we lose this, we still have map number 5. So the Exodia stack goes for Chen and Lily and tries to lock in another bounty for themselves. Have, of course, still that last pick up. But how is Team Ash going to react to that? Well, right now we got Samuro and Mal'Ganis. Alright, so Samuro Mal'Ganis for them to round out the draft. And well, that leaves us with our final pick for map number 4, the first match point in this best of 5 series here. The second semi-final. of the winner bracket. So, ladies and gentlemen, a bit more damage would be needed, right? Melee could be okay. Could also go one more heal and Vala as the hyper damage here. Yeah, not so sure. Hazu, we go Malthael. Malthael, so triple front line. With that, we're set for the fourth map of the best of 5. Let's go. Alright, we got a Lily and Chen bounty for the Exodia stack attempted in game number 4, and there's still a chance that we have Abatha with a monstrosity on level 10 as well, of course. Now, on the left side, first and foremost, for Team Ash now, 1 game down in this best of 5. We have Dead Inside on Mal'Ganis. We're getting Lopaka on Samuro. Renella is playing white lane for the team. Bishops on Cassia. And down for life on Abatha. On the right side of the map, the Exodia stack with Hazorbs on Chen. We have Copenhagen on Malthael. We get Bad Benny on Tyrael. Stacks, of course, for Vala with Creed of the Hunter as a level 1 choice. Vala played by Dainu. And Yasuo with a Serpent build is playing Lily. So, it is bounty time once again. At least for one team. And they're already very aggressively pushing the bot lane in an attempt to take a couple of structures out there. They're having really problems with their connection today, don't they? I believe this is now the 3rd or 4th time that we're getting a pause from the team in blue. So whatever the issue is, it seems like they're always able to very quickly resolve it. So that's the good news. But it's always a bit troublesome for at least me when I see that they're struggling so much with, I don't know, whatever the problem is. Maybe it's just the stability of the internet. Maybe there's something else that plays a role. Sometimes I hope it's just, you know, somebody that needs to go to the door to get themselves a pizza. And oh, I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm hungry again. You know, I haven't eaten in a while? I haven't had a good kebab in a while. I actually didn't even think about this until now. But yeah, pizza, kebab, oh. Every time that I'm casting on the weekend, you know, I think I should order myself some food here. But I gotta tell you, it's really difficult to time food order with you ending a stream. Because you never know if it goes to game number 5, if it goes to game number 3. So yeah, eating is always a little bit of a weird one. You basically finish, and then when you finally can order something for yourself, they take an hour or half an hour to make it and bring it over. And it's just like, yeah, okay, I just eat something at home. But after I cast, a nice pizza, kebab, whatever it is, I would definitely not say no to that. 100%. So, anyways, 0 deaths thus far. Duh. Well, actually, on the one hand, I want to say, like, obviously, because we're only 40 seconds in the game. But then, Lauber exists, and other teams have also Laubered in the past. So, there's always a chance that they're going to Lauber it up a little bit. But at least in this instance, not really a problem. Nobody dying early on. Instead, the camps are spawning, and that's what both of the teams are focusing on, with Lopaka trying to invade. That's the beauty of having Abatha here. Yep. You don't even have to steal it. You just have to slow him down a little bit and annoy him. That in and of itself is already a nice little win. So, not too bad. Well, now that we're having the camp finally taken, not too far behind, actually. Even ahead. Bishops is taking way more time over here. He initially had some support, and then that evaporated, so now Bishops takes the camp after them. I thought they were really attempting to claim it early, force the opponent down, and maybe also get some damage in. Now we see the exact opposite happening here. But, yep, a bit unlucky for them. Anyways, now we're getting the next attack, obviously, in the middle, and this one is gonna hurt a bit. The first 2 towers have now already been taken out. Level 4 kicks in, slight lead for the Exodia stack. They might even lose Samuro here. Talking Team Ash now. Team Ash is actually losing a lot. The Panda power, look at that. The Pandas are wreaking havoc. Vala, even without a second support here, without a second healer, is now playing a very aggressive game at the front and has locked in nearly 50 stacks. So she's about to get the first damage increase on her shots, while we have Cassia, for example, only on 5 stacks. So, not really a whole lot to work with from the perspective of Cassia now. We definitely want to have a little bit more than that, but not the case just yet. Anyways, top side, Still a bit of poking happening from Bishops here. So he's taking some of the towers slowly down. Yeah. At the bottom of the map with the first set of prisons now spawning. Vala, Dino, still pushing. Let's see if they can actually keep him alive. We've seen that a few times now. That we are having a very aggressive Vala playstyle. And then all of a sudden, like even with only one support, you know, we've seen it a couple of times. If you have a second damage dealer, losing Vala a few times is not that big of a deal. I suppose that Malthael doubles as that, but I love the aggression from Team Ash. They're really going for it. They're just saying like, whatever, we're committing to this. This can absolutely backfire. If you lose a fight like that, not only have you not taken your own camp, you also lose a hero, your opponent still claims it, then you're in real trouble. But as it stands right now, they are able to steal that away. So they stole the camp, they didn't get a kill with it, but that's still totally worth it. You are joking. What? Okay, that might nearly have been a new record. Check that one out. Have a look at the hit points when we're jumping down to Samuro. That's insane. So at first, just a little bit of... Look at this! I think he had 4 hit points. I believe he had 4 hit points at that last moment. Lopaka is crazy here. Absolutely crazy. But I think this time, nah, he still gets away. They are trying to go for the camp though, the prisoner camp. Both of them do now. The level 7 advantage goes to the Exodia stack. They are slightly ahead on this. Yeah. And they might even get that camp here. Can they claim that? No, maybe not. Right now, Vala is also still farming a few more shots. She can of course do that really easily against Lopaka too. And this time he's dead. This time he's gone. And they take the camp. They get a kill. They take the camp. And now they can go and take a few of those structures out. The bottom quarter is already falling. If they can get more kills here, they can drive that momentum train full home and get mad value. And they are getting Mal'Ganis. So now the tank is gone and they're not even stopping there. They're going for Cassia right away. Bishops doesn't stand a chance and Renella is also dead. They're killing all of them. Everybody essentially has just now died. Great move by them. And that gives them very easily a big lead in experience, 4 kills to 0, the momentum to go maybe even for a keep wall, maybe for a keep itself. I don't think they can drive it that far, but they can definitely do some damage. Now in the middle, Malthael is doing work down here, as you can tell. They're still trying to crush it. That wall will fall, and since nobody is dealing with the top lane and the raider that is busy there, this might cost them another fort there too. Yeah. If anything, I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't go more aggressively for forts, because that wall at the bottom is nice to be taken out. Here comes level 10. Uh-oh. Judgment from Tyrael. First Lily dies though. Lily is gone. Yeah, used her ult. They have level 10 abilities and are losing the fight. That's actually kind of funny. Benny is also trying to get away here and is able to survive. Yeah, good for him. Also was in the middle. Abathur, of course, can the entire time just mule up as much as possible. We're now 6.5 minutes in, and Cassia is only sitting at 22 stacks. Not really all that great. So, yeah, not really a great look for Cassia here. I mean, Bishops has done damage to a lot of the structures as he came in poking over and over. But that is still a bit of a nuisance, considering that he wants to be able to do big damage in the later stages of the game, and currently he's just no position to do that. You compare the stacking that he has to what we're seeing from Dino, who's sitting at 148 stacks already and doesn't even have a second support behind it. So Dino just really towing the line here. He's not dying, he's doing enormous amount of damage, reads those auto attacks in, and again, they're not even running a hyper carry game. So at this point, easy boss grab, a few more hits from Vala, Dino just dancing around them as Mal'Ganis is attempting to set them up a bit. But the next attack at the top targets Hazu. Lily, the Panda Pals here with a quick heal. They're still trying to get that bounty. Lily and Shen, and this is looking very good right now. Benny without Sanctification, it's kind of funny. He survives as even the ult of Cassia is not able to do anything here. So we had the copy from Abathur.
didn't go for Monty. Only one team with the bounty attempt. Judgment and last rites. That's the first stack that they get here. They get the first last rite stack. They can immediately go for the push. And boy, are they hurting now. Yes, this is trouble brewing. They're losing on all fronts, essentially. And they're losing way too much here. So the next few attacks are coming in. 5 kills to 1, 1 level ahead, 4 at the top lost, 4 at the bottom is lost. The next prisoner camp is spawning. They're taking the lead in so many areas now that it will be tough for the blue team to bring this back. Blue team is going to try, but it's not going to be easy. Lopaka with Samuro. Again, Samuro is nice to sneak things in, as he's currently trying to do here, and maybe to also damage some structures in the later stages. If you have Abathar with you, Samuro can be a monster just on the macro alone. You move onto a structure, you get a copy, and then you can just whack anything down within seconds when you make it into the late game. But currently, this entire game is absolutely driven by the Exodia stack, and they are just too strong here. Bishops goes down again. Bishops dies. The level 13 talent advantage is in, but look at the damage numbers too. Vala is already, even without Manticore, sitting at 30,000, hasn't died yet, is still benefiting from all of that attack speed that she gets from her Gambit quest. And then we have Cassia on 25,000 damage. Judgment. Whitemane denying it as best as possible here. But dead inside is now also very dead on the outside. So easy double kill. Make it a triple, baby. They come in for Whitemane. They drop her too. And they're going for the objective as Harzobs is trying to claim it now. Lopaka with the attempt to interrupt. The fort in the middle already about to go down. It's a snowball. It's a massive, massive snowball that we're seeing now. The outer ring of protection is completely gone. Now we're also seeing the raiders taken, and it's all about trying to remove a couple of these armor shields from the core and then make a big play. So that's what they're currently trying to pull off here. I mean, yep, we have the attack going through the middle, straight for the keep. And the cavalry isn't even here! They're already going for the keep and the cavalry isn't here yet. Abathar is the only one that hasn't died yet. And look at Vala, 221 stacks. Once she has Manticore. Can you imagine being Mal'Ganis or being any of the frontliners? They're gonna get totally wrecked here. They're trying to get kills. Even if they kill Vala now once, who cares? 5% of the attack speed gone. The Vala that is not even the only damage dealer here. That's just nuts. The Panda duo is doing so well. Chen Lili to the rescue here. Keep in the middle is already nearly gone. Here comes Judgment, and Vala just one attack after another, arrow after arrow, and they're about to hit 16 as well. This might even be the end of the game because 2 of the keeps are about to fall. It's 2 of the armor shields gone, and then they can go straight for the core and drop it as well. The Exodia stack on their way to a potential victory. Benny goes down, tries with the explosion. Could have taken the camp out or the minion wave, but hasn't. But the shield is now destroyed. 2 of them are gone. 16 is ready. This should mark the end of the game. I personally would be absolutely shocked if they are somehow able to take this one out. So yeah, here's the next attack at the top for the final keep that is still standing. But yeah, last rites comes in. It's another stack for Malphite. That's the 3rd one now. That's a 15-second cooldown reduction. Mal'Ganis isn't the only one that falls. They're losing Cassia. They're losing Whitemane. It's 15 kills to 2. And it's obviously going to be the end of the series. The blue team is dropping down into the lower bracket. It's losers bracket time for Team Ash. The Exodia stack moves on to the winner bracket final with a 3-1 victory. GG and nicely done.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.